if you figured out what life meant, what's the point of living the rest of your life? You know?
What's the point of living anyways if we're never going to find it out?
Well, the point is to try.
But
Is to try
why?
and figure it out.
Everybody.
Why?
You want to start that direction? Nobody knows what they want.
We can start with some philosophy.
Philosophies.
Philosophies. Could be our first segment.
Do you think our parents, do you think they're, what am I trying to say? Do you think they gave up? Basically is what I'm saying. Because you talk to your parents and they're like...
Gave up on what? Their dreams?
Yeah, of not working the jobs they have and stuff. Because if you talk to them, they don't really want us to do what we're doing.
Right.
But I think they actually wanted that at one point too.
Mm-hmm.
And they just gave up.
I mean, it's weird because at some point in life, you gotta realize that dreams are just dreams. You know, for a long time, I wanted to play professional football, but I got into high school and I was like, it's not really feasible. You know? It's not really feasible.
I don't consider sports the same though, because really anybody could go to the NFL if they really wanted to.
Yeah, you gotta put in the hours. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You gotta put in the hours, and I mean it's feasible. You can make it. There are guys who are on practice squads for years and years just because they love playing football. You know, and you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
I don't know how to specify what me and you want. We want
I just want
freedom, basically.
I want to know what I want. That's what I really want.
In football, you don't get that. So that's why I feel like that's not really a dream. Playing on Sunday on TV, is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's all you want? At least for me, I don't.
I mean, I'd be happy.
I want
making all that money just playing a sport. Fuck yeah, dude, that'd be great. I think that'd be awesome.
I wanted to enjoy it because I didn't even enjoy it as a kid.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a heavy workload. You know, those football players put in just as many hours as an attorney does a week, if you think about it. All the hours in the gym and watching footage and
And I feel like you're so constricted though, on what you can say, what you can do, because your schedule and you can't. I just want to be free. You can't really travel like you want to because you have to go to practice every morning.
Right.
I want to live that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be fun for a while, but then I think about what my brain would be like, and I don't want my brain to be mush 10 years after I'm done playing football. So I mean, I don't know, it'd be fun. But you have to realize, what dreams are feasible and what aren't. Because you grow up and everyone tells you, oh, you can do anything you want. You can literally do anything you want.
That's so
do whatever
fucked
you
up.
Want. It's so untrue, right?
No, it's fucked up that they tell us that. Because then when we get to this point, then they tell us that we can't chase our dreams. We need to go work this job.
Right. You have to do you got to do something other than just dream.
Yeah. Right.
But the point of it is for us to aim really, really high. So that way when we miss our mark, we're still sort of high, But if it's just, I don't know, it's a lie, but it's sort of a noble lie. It's not a harmful lie, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
it's a lie because we really can do whatever we want. But
Right.
It's just fucking hard to do
it is.
almost anything.
It's really hard. It's because when they tell you can do whatever you want, they don't tell you that you have to work really fucking hard to do it first. So it's just oh, I could be an astronaut. It makes it sound like I can walk into NASA and be suit me up, shoot me into space, please.
You have to have 12 years of school.
Oh yeah, you have a lot of years of school under your belt before you can do that.
You gotta love that shit to do that.
You do. And you have to be really, really smart too. You have to understand how gravity and physics works, and physics is really fucking confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn it just like everything else. You got to put in the time, but it's just by the time you're done with an hour and a half class, your brain's ready to explode, trying to figure out everything.
I can't even finish basic science classes. I couldn't imagine that shit.
Physics, I have some of my friends that go to Purdue. We were talking about their physics classes last time I was down there, and it's just another language is totally
It's
outside of my realm of knowledge.
Physics is weird too because it's common sense.
It is.
But you have to like read
But
about it
there's-
to understand it.
Yeah, there's like mathematics to it. So like, you know, you drop two items, they're gonna fall at the same speed, the same rate, but a brick's gonna hit the ground faster than a feather. Like, why is that? You know, because the feather floats on the air a little easier than the brick does, but they're both falling at the same rate. Which it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's common sense to look at it and be like, oh, like if I drop them, this one's gonna hit first, but that one's not.
Just imagine Isaac Newton. Like he had to wrap his head around that shit without anybody, like any prior knowledge of it.
That's really crazy when you think about that.
Like
shit.
his brain had to hurt.
Oh.
There's like little shit that I can't even wrap my head around and it fucking
I know.
hurts. I get headaches.
You think about him, dude, and just like all of a sudden it hits him all at once, like.
But life was also simpler back then, where you had time and shit, and it wasn't so cluttered.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of time to sit and figure that shit out, you know.
And it wasn't. Well, I was gonna say it wasn't like ostracized if you wanted to just like write books or something like that.
Mhm.
But it kind of was because they want you to work still.
Right. I mean, it was sort of encouraged because like they want people, you know, they needed more literature at that time, I think. So, but you also had people writing about shit they really didn't know anything about. Like Isaac Newton was basically guessing.
Yeah.
You know, he was guessing. But I mean, once he brought mathematics into it, you can't really guess there, because that's its own, you know.
I hate when, like, it's cool that we can rely on them, all their knowledge and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we don't try to, like, be the new Isaac Newtons or anything. We don't try to create any new ideas. We just, like, keep improving on old ones.
Yeah,
There's, like, nothing new being created.
There's so much that's already been created. It's hard to bring up anything that's, like, brand new. Besides, like, different ideologies and stuff, you know, or different political views on things. I don't know. We've pretty much figured everything out, you know.
I don't think we're even
We're
close.
born too late to try and, like...
If we've pretty much figured everything out, like, people shouldn't be as depressed as we are. I don't even think we're close.
No.
I think we're missing the mark completely.
You think if we figure everything out, everyone's going to be enlightened and, like, happy and just, like...
At this point, I
floating?
don't think so. I
No.
think we need a whole restart.
I think even if we did figure everything out, it's still like, you know, the point is to not know. So like if we figured it out,
But why?
if we figured it out, what's next? If you figured out what life meant, what's the point of living the rest of your life? You know?
What's the point of living anyways if we're never going to find it out?
Well, the point is to try.
But
Is to try and
why?
figure it out.
Everybody,
Why? I don't know
everybody in
why.
history has tried, and
Yeah.
everybody's failed.
Well, I mean,
Not failed, but you know what I mean. Nobody's got
you
it.
create your own answer to it. It's not like math where 2 + 2 = 4. You know, if it was like that, then we would already know.
But then that's like a
It would
fine
be
line.
concrete.
If you're creating your own, that's a very fine line. Because you could say, like, raping babies is okay in your life.
I mean, you know, pedophiles, they think that shit's okay. It's not widely accepted, but
Who's somebody living right now who's powerful enough to like write a philosophy and get everybody to
I
believe
mean,
it?
Jordan Peterson's doing like the ideologies that he's bringing about right now is stuff that people like really, really needed. Like he always talks about, I saw him on Joe Rogan, he was talking about how people will come up to him and they'll tell him that like they were suicidal and stuff before they started reading his books and listening to him talk, and his viewpoint on life just gives so many people like purpose. And he says that's like the craziest, most outlandish thing. He'll be in the supermarket and people will come up to him and be like, you know, you essentially saved my life with your thoughts, you know,
Mhm.
telling me how to live a purposeful life, you know. And you can see it like in his face, like he gets emotional and gets teared up about it, because he never, like, that was never his mission. Like he was just a professor for a while, you know. He was a psychology professor, and he started figuring out, you know, what what people are lacking in like their everyday life, and he started sort of preaching about it. And
I think there's a problem with us as people though. Like if he wrote like took his time and wrote like a very detailed book, thoughtful book, he tried to make it accessible to everybody, like the Bible or something. We as people are just gonna fucking look for every flaw we can think of. Oh, that doesn't relate to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like all those Twitter trolls. Like we just fuck everything up.